private sector is barely expanding this year. However, it's the case in many countries around the world that government is sustaining growth during this crisis. So even if we have projects that maybe are not very well timed, such as the town that we just saw on your program, most of the investments is actually contributing to longer-term growth because it's directed at infrastructure, something that China still badly needs. So Chinese growth still is quite impressive.
Right. What about the optimism of its people? Because, I mean, that is something that has really buoyed social cohesion through the economic crisis, isn't it? I saw a figure that says that consumer demand has actually dropped by 10% over the last 10 years.
It has not dropped, but it has declined as a share of GDP. Consumer demand in China is increasing. This year, so far, about 15%. So growth is solid here, but because fixed asset investments, the infrastructure projects are rising so much faster because the government is sponsoring them, that the share of consumption in Chinese GDP has declined, and it's only half of that in the US. And indeed, without a stronger, even stronger consumer, it will be difficult for China to sustain current growth levels. That's why the government is doing a lot to stimulate consumption across the country.
Now is the time to start the conversation about real structural reforms in the Chinese economy. Do you think it's going to happen?
It has to happen, otherwise current growth levels are not sustainable, and the government is putting a lot of effort on reforming the healthcare and pension systems, because if people are confident that there will be a social safety net in case they need it, they can spend a lot of their current savings. So this is the direction in which reforms in the country are moving, and it will take a long time, but I think that China is on track to stimulate consumption and therefore increase its long-term growth potential.